Welcome everyone. Today I have a new Endfield guide on the AIC system. Now looking behind me, this particular guide will teach us how to get tons of quality of life in the AIC system. I have spent hours learning and also trying to figure things myself, but there's a much easier way in copy pasting the templates. So you can see I'm using a template right now. I can craft that, I can dismiss that, but firstly I want to show you guys the accessibility of those templates. So the biggest highlight is that not only you can get templates from the system, which I haven't unlocked a lot, but you can be getting templates imported from other players. So what we have over here is we have one of the guides that is constantly getting updated with additional systems you can pretty much copy and paste. And this is pretty exciting. I may show you guys over here. So in this video, not only I want to show you guys how to copy and paste and also provide you guys with some very neat and also very important free templates that you can be using. For example, the ones over here, which will give me explosives. And I can pretty much save to my system and suddenly I can craft explosives. So I'll show you guys over here. Look at that. I'll just rotate a little bit, find a good spot, and voila. Of course, I'll go through the details with you guys about the battery system, about setting everything up, about automation, and how to profit from using those systems. So you can be crafting some of the most expensive items that is requested by different outposts. For example, over here on this outpost, the unit price for the batteries are 30, while the prices for the lower parts are only 1. You can be crafting the bulk capsules, you can be crafting the batteries for each of the regions to maximize your profit. I'll also be teaching you guys some of the quality of life method that is used in the AIC system as I discover them. For example, over here, notice I have just crafted a number of things which I want to show you guys over here. And using the top view, because I've just put random stuff down, I can easily press delete system and instantly delete that. Look at that. It's all gone. There's a lot of quality of life on the share with you guys, so this video will definitely save you a lot of time with the AIC system, as I've been playing around with it yesterday to try to make min and max a little bit. So let's get into the video. The first thing you want to know, and also the most important thing, is I'll be looking for more copy-pasted version of the importer code. Now, why is it important? Because yes, you can be getting those templates and other templates from the game, and I'll show you where you can be getting those. As you unlock the AIC system, which I will be unlocking them very soon with the last few points, you can be doing simulations. And doing simulations will provide you with some neat rewards in terms of the Ouroboros and also in terms of some of the free plans that is available. So not only you can be getting items, you can be getting some of the templates that is from the game. But one downside of those systems is it is overwhelming, it takes time, and sometimes I don't get time to do all the AIC system. I purposely skipped a few of them because I know how to craft the explosives, so I didn't really watch the system, and it takes a while to follow the guide, and I just want to play my game, right? So here is the fix. So what you can see over here is one of the written guide that is based on the Endfield AIC system. On the top of the guide are some free blueprints. Now please do keep in mind, those blueprints are defaultly uniquely different between the actual servers. So if you're playing the American server, you should be copy pasting the American version. If you're playing the Asian server, you should be copy pasting the JP version. Now it is getting also updated for more American versions because initially we had those on the Asian servers, and just making those on the American servers will take a little bit of time, and the goal is to also make more of those blueprints for you guys for the quality of life. So currently 4 of the most important blueprints are available on top of all the free ones you can be getting in the game from tutorials. So what you want to do over here is come over to the page in the links below, and let's use I use the industrial material explosives as an example. So let's say if I want the self-sustained plant farm, I'm going to copy the Asian server system, and then I'm going to go into my game, and then let's come over here. So we're going to go to blueprints. I'll press F1 over here, and then we're going to go to shared blueprints. After that, coming over to import, and then copy paste the exact code you just had, and voila, this is a self-made blueprint. You click save, and then all of a sudden you have a blueprint, and this will allow you to craft this one any way you want. Now you can be pressing R to rotate over here, quite important. And let's find a good spot for this. So I'm gonna place this over here. And one is placed. Let's say if I wanted to place another one. One is placed. And of course, this will cost electricity, which we'll talk about later. So placing the blueprints is quite good. What I want to show you guys is what if on the opportunity that you actually don't have the necessary ingredients for the blueprints, what's going to happen. So I'll show you the rest of the hotkeys afterwards. So let's just keep trying to place those blueprints and let's see if I have enough. Okay, good. I don't have enough for the final one, I think. Yep. This one, I don't think I have enough, right? So let's try to place it. Overlap with other facility. That's not good. So I want to show you guys what happens when you don't have enough. Let's find the example over here. So basically, the simple way to put it, you come over to the site and I'll be trying to update you guys with more blueprints that becomes available, and even some of the in-game tutorial blueprints. If you haven't done it, I'll try to update for you guys. So the reason the 4 blueprints are the most important ones, so the bucket capsule, the batteries, and also the explosives is for exploration. You blow up objectives for additional crates, boxes, and also for the little flying orbs. And for the batteries, you can use this particular blueprint for 2 different batteries, which I'll show you guys. And similarly, you can use the bucket capsules for quite good selling prices in the first region. And of course, the self-sustained plant farm is also really good. So before we do anything, let's have a look at about placing. What I'm doing over here is I am using the top view. Oh, okay, that's good. So notice that the blueprints over here I have just placed is not constructing correctly. This is because I do not have enough of the plans and also the facilities. So your blueprints will not be instantly made if you don't have enough of those items. So for the cases the blueprints are not constructing because we don't have the necessary components, what you can do is you can click over here and then click the facility construction, and then you can click the number that you want to construct. So I'm going to construct this, and I'm going to construct the other one similarly to show you guys how to get the blueprints going if you don't have the necessary components. And of course, you should have those unlocked by unlocking the system. I'll show you guys how to unlock them as well. So here I don't have those, I need some carbon, and I'll be looking to create some carbon, and then I can create this and then create the rest of them. So after you create all of that, you can submit all, and this will get the blueprints going. I need to create some carbons. So in order to get the blueprints and also necessary components unlocked, you should be unlocking the AIC plants over here. And this is one of the reasons I can be unlocking a lot of those blueprints and also necessary ingredients. For the cases over here, which is the case I actually don't have the necessary carbon, I would be processing the carbon myself and then creating these blueprints. So I'll show you guys over here. If I don't have the carbon, I'll be using a refining unit and getting the buckwheat into the carbon, and this will let us keep going. So maybe I set this up while we do the rest of the guides, and I can continue on this. So let's do a live example. Oh boy, do I have a spot? I don't have a spot here. So let's keep going on the guide. Now let's say for the case you have constructed blueprints and you don't have enough battery, you don't have enough power for it, what you can do is, here's a really good quality of life. If you press the X hotkey, and this is for PC, I'm not sure exactly what hotkey it is for the other devices, but notice there's a stash mode. You want to go into the top view, press X, and then you can click and delete things, but you can also select everything in range and then press F to interact and delete everything. Look at that. So if I wanted, I can successfully delete everything on my plant within one click. And that is a huge quality of life. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to delete this fully functional blueprint to show you guys a step-by-step method. So we're going to delete this. So yes, actions are irreversible. Please do be careful, you can't reverse that. So we're going to go to the blueprint. What I'm doing now is I have imported the blueprints for batteries, and then we're going to click place. So you can be rotating the blueprints so it matches correctly. And this blueprint is made in a way that is self-stashing. So notice there's a protocol stash. So everything that is created will be self-stashing, which is very good. And what that means is you don't have to direct the port back to the system, and this will do it by itself. Of course, this will cost a little more power, which we'll talk about very soon. So now that you have the blueprints going, the next part is to make sure you have the right input of the materials, and then make sure you have all the right input of the materials, and then making sure that each stage is the right recipe. Now, if you have placed the right input materials directly, this is fine. But let's say for the cases, initially I don't have the right input of materials. And this will actually jam the system, and this will change the recipes over here. And if that happens, the blueprints won't be working. So notice that it is no longer working as smoothly. I mean, this is still working, so it's less efficient. And let's say if I got the wrong input materials over here, so you can convert and change everything in the overview, which is very powerful. But now the plant won't be working because I'm having the wrong input materials and it is not working. What you want to do is you want to double check what is the right recipe at the end of the stage. So at the end of the stage, we have the antennas parts and also the powders over here. And then you check over here to see that this is creating the parts, and what is needed for the parts are the fibers. And what's needed for the fibers is the inflow of the antennas ores. So make sure then you can click on the right ores over here. For example, over here, I wanted the powders that is over here because I want to create the LC Valley battery. If I were to come over here, the wrong item is inserted over here. So I need to make sure that the production line is feeding us with the right item. So let's insert this. Let's insert this. This is now the right setup. Now, there's also a case in case you guys want to create a different battery, because if we come over to post management, the batteries are here to be sold to different refugee camps, and they are the best selling items in the zone because you can see they sell for 30 per unit price. And in the other zone at the moment for me, this sells for 16 per unit price compared to the 1 unit price over here. So let's say if I'm creating LC Valley batteries, right? If I wanted to create a different battery, because it is a battery manufacturer machine, we can check the battery over here, which is going to be SC Valley battery. SC and also LC. So coming back to our example over here. So currently we have LC battery. Let's say if I wanted SC battery. So I'm going to change the recipe, coming over here to the LC battery, and I can see now I need the furnace parts and also the original powder. So the powder part of the feeding system is not going to be affected, but this part needs to be changed. So step by step, we come over here, we click the furnace parts, and it is the one over here, and we realize we need the actual furnace, which is the ones that is getting processed. So we'll be coming up to the refining unit and then checking over here. Of course, if you know that this one, you don't need to do all the steps like this. You just feed the right ones, you automatically trigger. But I'm teaching you guys how to check which one to feed in case you don't know. So I need a funding ore. So we're going to get the right ore at the end of the transaction belt. And this should start our system to make the new battery. And notice that this is waiting for the ores to produce, and then we get the battery goes. Let's see if this is correct. Okay, here is the system. So there's a small roadblock. Notice that the ones that's getting fed is not the right one that is coming through. What you can do is you can manually drag the right ones coming through, and this should get the system going before you was feeding the wrong items, because I was using a different example. So let's drag this one in, and then the production line should go back to work. This side is waiting for the right item to come, and then after a few items comes in, this will get processed. So the actual system part, let's see if anything's okay here. It is clogged, and let's see. Oh, it is clogged because the other side hasn't fit through. So I just changed my battery production from the SC Valley to LC Valley. Is that correct? Did I call the names right? So yes, this is LC battery, this is SC. So in this sense, you can swap between two different batteries using the same template. And this is just one of the examples. You can be doing something similar to all the things that can be imported over here. So those 4 are the most important ones. And I'll be trying to add additional imports to you guys as well. Now, during this time, I want to add a few quality of life in this video as well. I don't want to take it too long, but I want to explain. So what you're going to notice is as you produce those massive templates, you might be overcapping yourself with the battery limit. So notice here I have a big manufacturing machinery over here and also one over here. And not only that, if I come over to my second depot, I'm also running another factory. So that in itself is affecting how much power capacity I have. So the next thing after importing your templates is to make sure you have enough power capacity. So coming over here, you can see I have another particular factory setup, and this is also affecting the system. Currently, I'm hard capped at 300. I'll be trying to uncap that to higher battery capacity. But previously, I was sitting on 200. So one of the ways to get more power is to build thermal banks. The thermal banks I built over here is able to fit in different materials, and depending on the materials you fit in, you either fit in the cheapest ores and this will give you 50 power, or you can fit in batteries that give you 200 or 400 power. Batteries takes longer to produce, but they give the highest capacity for high energy. So you can just have one of those instead of three. But because I had some three openings, I was just fitting the cheapest ores. So after that, let's say if you also have cap like me at the moment, what I can do is I can delete the protocol stash. Let's just delete this one over here. Go to the delete. So I'm going to delete this one, trying to reduce the number of facilities that I'll be using. And notice that this one should technically, let's get the build going. So this should technically reduces the requirement for my actual energy consumption because I'm reducing the units. Because the template itself is nice, but it also increases the actual spending of your power cap because it has the increasing the more capacities with the storage system, with other systems. So here I'll try to show you guys how I want to make a max over here, just to adjust for my current situation. Again, there's a protocol stash that I probably don't need. I can just easily get this going. Not this one, let's get this one going. So let's feed it back in here. Perfect. So similarly, we're gonna feed this one. We're gonna delete this and feed this one manually. So if you want to save the trouble of directing if you want to save the trouble of just have the automatic template, you don't have to do this. But here what I'm trying to do is to show you guys that you can min and max the existing template to your power capacity. So notice now my power capacity went from 315 overcapping back to 300. And this allows me to enjoy the templates, and while this is auto feeding back to the system. So it is quite important to understand how things are working and then going from that. So I want to show you guys a little further. Of course, the biggest lifesaver is just to be able to delete and also add things instantly. And that is just incredible for me. So let's keep going for a few more things I want to share with you guys. One of the first thing is, because a lot of those batteries, everything requires you to have the raw materials, it is recommended to come over to the deposits and the mineral bed and also to start connecting the power grids and automatically collecting those. It might take you a few tries to understand, and I actually found this pretty fun Reddit post I want to share with you guys. So this particular post is Endfield in a nutshell. You're literally putting all the power connections everywhere you go. So that's what you're doing, connecting the grids. And once you have connected the grids, for example over here, you can start to mine a lot of those minerals. And this is one of the best ways to be establishing your automation system. Now, I think that covers pretty much everything. I know I did take a little longer to explain because I think it's quite important to understand how to import the templates and then how to min and max the templates. And finally, the battery systems is essential. So before I finish, I also want to mention that the actual ability to expand your AIC area is quite important. It will cost you store credits or AIC credits to expand. And in one of the previous videos, we actually talk about, we also have a basics for AIC system in case you guys are not sure how to get started. I forgot to mention that. And also we have a previous video I really do recommend, start the AIC credit loop. I went from 30,000 credits to 240,000 credits within 7 minutes. And you can do this one daily with huge amount of profits. And this is like incredible multiplier of your credits. So make sure you do those. And finally, before we finish, I think I'll be learning the system and teaching you guys as I go. So what I notice is the initial areas map radius or the availability build area is pretty massive. And this pretty much comes for free. So most of my massive facilities are built over here. But to extend this a little bit, I'm building my batteries and also smaller plants on the other side, which it is not that easy to expand. I'll show you guys over here. Takes a bit of time to load. So over here, notice that I'm coming back to the second plant. And the second plant, even when I'm paid to expand, notice is the much smaller radius, simply because it will cost us more store credits to expand those. Of course, if you're rich on store credits, you can keep buying the expansion, but it costs quite a bit. Notice the next upgrade will cost 160,000. Of course, I can get the bus over here. This is not a big deal, but the rest of the expansion is quite expensive. So what I have done is at the moment, while this expansion is expensive, I have purposely set up a lot of batteries over here just to save some space. So I'm putting the small units over here while the huge factories are placed where I have the biggest area. Of course, in the next few days, I'll be looking into maxing all the storage and also spaces and upgrading the build and also the guides with you guys to teach you about the latest system of the AIC program. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. My next goal is to build more automatic system. Where are we? Next goal is to build more blueprints for you guys, and then we can be using those and also automatically pasting those into the game. So it is pretty much trouble-free for all of us instead of doing all the tutorials and building everything from scratch. And of course, guys, if you have built a good system and a good, I guess, manufacturing planned, feel free to share with us in the comments below, and that'll be really helpful as well for everyone. Now, before I finish, I also want to make an update. Notice here previously I was demonstrating to max the template system with 300 maximum capacity. Over here, by running the thermal banks with the right battery, which is the more costly SC battery, I'll show you guys over here. The SC batteries, if you're running those, you'll be getting 420 power per thermal bank. So this allows you to increase your maximum capacity by 420 per battery. So notice here, I'm now 300 over 1,460 battery capacity. So this is one of the ways you can increase your power capacity and then take advantage of the other blueprint system that is shared over here. And for example, the plant farm over here, then one can try to find a place to place those. I would need to max my space, so I have enough space to be placing those. So I think I forgot to mention about this because I was showing you guys how to max this system, but I forgot to talk to you guys about the maximum capacity of the batteries, which is quite important. So previously I was quite cheap. I was using the basic horse, and then you can use the LC battery, and then you can use the SC battery. And just happens so all the blueprints we have over here is producing the batteries we needed for the maximum capacity. And of course, for those batteries you have produced, make sure you guys don't forget to sell them in the outpost development. And this will give you tons of store credits, and this will also help you level up your outpost. So it is a double benefit method that you'll be getting a lot of experience, a lot of store credits, and then leveling up the outpost prosperity will also help you to level over here to get additional rewards and also summoning tickets. So it's a very good system. Now, if you guys haven't subscribed, this is a really good time to do so, because I'll be covering everything related to Arknights Endfield, relating to the builds, the characters, and also ways of getting promo codes and additional freebies, explorations related to the game. So make sure you subscribe for the latest update and also news related to the game, and also more updates for new patches to come in the future.